Welcome back, everyone. So, I wanted to go over some cards that I kind of have been slacking on talking about. I talked about the champion characters when they were first released on the Redemption store for Nick Reagan and uh, Mitch Cimino. So when those first got dropped on the store and revealed, I talked about those. And then when Garrett Brett 7, I think he is now, and William Anderson got revealed, I actually did building streams for them to kind of do show off those characters, but I haven't talked about the ones that have been revealed more recently because these ones are not going to be legal until 2026. They're not legal till January. So I thought, okay, they have a few months before they're legal. Maybe I can get away with not talking about them. But the closer we get to January, the more I'm thinking, let's talk about these characters and the asset cards, because these are some really fun cards that I'm going to be enjoying. So first off, yeah, we could go in release order for these. So first off, let's talk about Ashley Fullerton. Ashley is our 2019 World Champion. And I'm just going to say this up front. I've met Ashley. I've met Keenan Meadows. They are wonderful people, some of the nicest people you'll meet. They've been nothing but supportive and kind to me. I love joking with them and talking to them anytime I see them at events. They're always so welcoming. But Ashley, your champ card scares me. This art looks like I'm about to be dissected alive and my organs are about to be harvested. This is just spooky. Why you gotta scare me like this? You are such a wonderful woman and so nice and so kind, but this is such a menacing looking character that I feel like I'm about to be put on the black market for my organs. It's horrifying. But art aside and her adorable little hedgehog partner in crime aside, let's talk about the character itself. She is a 7 hand size 21 health character with air, water, and death as her symbols. Interesting spread. She's got 2 abilities. The first is an enhance during your attack. You can commit Ashley to build the top card of your deck face down, and your rival adds the top card of their deck to their card pool face down. So you get a build, and your rival gets their card pool clogged. But you can only do this during your attack. So some would say, this could be during your turn, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then she has a response, Tenacious, so playable while she is committed. Sacrifice 1 foundation. After an attack is played, it gets +2 or -2 speed. So when I first looked at Ashley, I thought, this is a really good death water, like lean hard into the death and water card pool clog and self-debuild with cards like I'm With You or Enormous Axe, or a lot of these death foundations that when sacrificed build another card into your stage so you can just keep replenishing, because she doesn't say sacrifice a face-up foundation and she doesn't say sacrifice a ready foundation. So whether it's a face-down committed foundation, which triggers all of those discard pile responses when cards hit your discard pile, although it does say response after an attack is played, so it will not trigger any that say after this attack card hits your discard pile during the enhance step. But you can do cards like Enormous Axe to get an extra build, stuff like that. And another card, because she has air, that I wanted to talk about, is she can play Aerial Kokosho. So hand, drive 1, response. Drive 1 is to either spend 1 momentum or commit a foundation, which we are building a bunch of foundations. Add this card to your card pool. After a completely blocked attack resolves, try to play this attack from your card pool. It gets -2 difficulty and +2 speed. So it becomes a 6 high for 7. But if we are able to play this on our rival's turn, and Ashley's ready, we can commit Ashley during our attack of the Aerial Kokosho and defensively clog our rival's card pool and build an extra foundation, which could get rid of our drive cost here if we commit a foundation and then we build one with Ashley. And then we can also sacrifice maybe the foundation we used for the drive to give another +2 speed, and this is an 8 high 7 on our rival's turn. And there's a lot of foundations that can give boosted damage based on our face down foundations, or to sacrifice foundations to get more damage, or if we're going into this all, we're just having a bunch of face down foundations kind of play style, we can use the Irwin foundation for the greater good. So after you sacrifice a foundation, flip a foundation for +2 or -2 damage. So you can make this an 8 high 9 on your rival's turn and build a foundation and clog their card pool on their turn. But another great card, the very first thing I thought to use with Ashley, is Breakin'. This card's dumb, and it's really good with Ashley, because drive 1, which is committing a foundation. After you play this attack, add 1 drink counter to your character, or ready your character. So if we've used our commit on our attack to build a foundation and clog our rival, we can then play Breakin', drive 1, either spending a momentum or committing a foundation, to ready Ashley, commit her again, clog our rival's card pool again, and build another foundation. So Breakin', Aerial Kokosho. I actually did build an Ashley deck. I don't quite remember what I did for it. Ashley V1, what did I do for you? Yeah, Breakin', Lethal Rending to sacrifice a bunch of foundations for damage and for speed. Switch to Vertical Maneuvering can ready our face down foundations if it hits. Wide Swinging Blow allows us to get a huge damage boost. Falling Heel Strike allows us to unflip any foundations that we built with our character, so if we wanted to reuse those abilities. Jawjammer's just straight damage, and we can just take a whole lot of advantage of sacrificing our foundations. Light It Up is just going to give us free damage. So she gives speed, she builds, she clogs. This character is going to be really strong as a 7 hand size character. I believe she won Worlds with Lord Raptor, and that was a character that got banned rightfully. I mean, I was going to try to get him banned myself, but also a 7-hander, although I think he was a 719. But yeah, really cool character. I really like the design, even if the way she's staring at me kind of gives me the creeps. So Ashley, don't hate me, but you do scare me a little bit now. On to the next one. We've got Mark Tyner, our 2020 world champion. If I remember correctly, he won with Cassandra in 2020. I did not play against him that year. I did play him, I believe, in 2019 when he was playing Shinnok, another character that absolutely rightly deserved to be banned. So Mark Tyner is a 6 hand size, 30 health character. He's got all, evil, and order as his symbols. 2 of my 3 favorite symbols right there. And this dude likes breaking rules, because as a static it says, while exactly 2 copies of a unique foundation are in your stage, they have the static ability of this foundation cannot be sacrificed due to unique abilities. So the unique keyword ability says you can only have 1 copy of this card in your stage. If you try to build a second copy of that card, the second copy is immediately sacrificed. But Mark Tyner says your foundations get to ignore that rule as long as you have 2 copies. So you can have 2 copies of any unique foundation in your stage at a time. And if you're thinking you can get around that with like Megalomania, as a static, Mark Tyner cannot be sealed. And we know Megalomania is going to be going around a lot right now. And he's got 2 responses, the first of which is twice per turn, commit 1 unique card. Very important there. After a player makes a check to play a non-foundation card, that check gets +2 or -2. So if you're playing an attack, or if your rival's playing an attack, or if your rival's even trying to block with a non-foundation, you can commit any card in your stage that has unique and give that check -2. And then he also has response. After your rival fails a check, gain a health. We're already sitting pretty at 630. So to be able to gain health by focusing on our rivals, our rivals' bad luck is really, really good. Now, Mark Tyner is going to have, I think, the same issue that our other champ character that we're going to talk about is going to have, in the fact that he's legal starting January 1st. But in March, we get the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju set, and that's going to rotate an entire year's worth of cards. We're going to lose everything from My Hero Academia League of Villains all the way up to My Hero Academia Jetburn. So all of those. So if you look on Ultra, we're going to lose anything from League of Villains to Jetburn. So League of Villains, Undaunted Raid, all of the 2023 promos, and everything from Jetburn, and that includes all of their promo cards, anything else like that. So we are going to lose 3 sets of unique cards. So that is going to hamper Mark Tyner a little bit. At least going forward. At the start, he's going to have a lot of good stuff. So let's just look at what our standard is right now. And we'll look at all evil and order unique. So right off the bat, I love King of Illyria, because if you've used a Roman cancel ability, the enhance on King of Illyria is tenacious, so it doesn't matter if it's committed. So if you throw in some tension attacks into your Mark Tyner deck, which on 2 of his symbols you have access to tension, you can just say, hey, I'm gonna just throw this in and I'm gonna commit this. I can have 2 of them, and these can add to my hand to make me add your committed foundations back to your hand. And twice per turn I can just commit these and use their abilities while they're tenacious. So really powerful card here on a 1 diff. But also you get the new shift attacks from the Shadow Monarchs bundle. And Igris here says, while it's in your stage, all of your attacks get 1 speed and your rival's attacks get -1 speed. It is a unique card. It does not allow you to have 2 copies of it because it's not a foundation, but this is a card you can commit with Mark and not really care, because its static ability still works while it's committed. You won't be able to use the enhance, but you'll still be able to commit for +or -2 to a check. So that's kind of cool. We got Scumbug, which if you're not looking to mill, you can absolutely do that. Secret of Ancients and Ninjutsu, Cynthia Ultram, nah. Yelena, kind of cool. Anti-Titan Artillery is another really good one, because if you don't want to commit a rival foundation or asset, the enhance for +1 damage is still tenacious. So another card that you can commit to give +or -2 to a check. But what I really hate is this dude can have 2 Moment of Normalcy on board. This guy's going to be almost unkillable because he can have 2 Moment of Normalcy, and with the order symbol, if you play him on order, he can also have Item Box. He can have 3 resets on board at any given time. And that's just nuts. Some other cards that are kind of cool. What are some cards we wouldn't mind committing? A lot of these we would mind committing, and that's kind of rough. So finding the unique cards to commit for the +2 or -2 is going to be kind of where you're going to be looking. I do like that if you're on evil, you can have 2 monster zeros. So on your turn, you can just remove like 2 cards from your rival's hand and just say, hey, on my turn, I can use this effect, but on your turn, if I didn't want to remove cards from your hand, on your turn, I can commit these for -2 to your checks. And then come back around on my turn, I can just rip cards out of your hand. This is probably why I would play Mark Tyner on Evil. Otherwise, I am kind of leaning towards Order because I really like defensive characters, and having the idea of having 2 Moment of Normalcy in an item box and kind of becoming unkillable with a little bit of health gain is just disgusting. Cute baby's cute. Oh yeah, that's sad that Ares says ready one non-unique asset or foundation. So they made sure that he's not too busted. Warped Pleasure's fun. Team to Grow's Dominance. Just being able to have multiple of these to just pop assets and foundations that your rival wants to play with. So yeah, we're gonna lose everything on this page. And I think one other card. We're going to lose League Handler, and then every card on this page for when rotation happens. Which sucks, because we're going to lose all of the Shigaraki 3 and Dabi 3 check hacking cards. So we're going to lose a lot from that. I think there is a Girl Power card that flips for -2 to a check when your rival plays an attack. But we're going to lose a lot of check hacking cards, and that's going to make it really tough. Citywide Crisis is great because it's a one of its abilities is Tenacious to return something to printed speed. So committing that is no trouble. Suited Up has an enhance that's only a response that's only playable while it's committed. So there's a lot of cool stuff that he's going to get to do for 2.5 months. And then after that, we're going to have to see what unique cards he's given access to. But I think Mark Tyner is going to be... He's going to be really cool. I am going to be putting a lot of work into him to see just how control-y I can be with it. And it's not going to be fun. But again, for the first 2 months, he's going to be solid, and then he's kind of going to get kneecapped for a bit until we can see what other unique cards we have access to. And the same can be said of our latest champ revealed, Jacob Johnson, someone I've played a couple of times. The guy is a very formidable opponent, but he's a really cool dude, even if sitting across from him is kind of intimidating for someone like me. But he is the 2019 UK National Champion. I did not know that when I played him either time. He's a 7-hand size 21 character with Evil, Good, and Water. Right off the bat, his symbols are hampering him a little bit because we had 3 sets with none of these symbols in it. And then we had 1 set with all 3 with turtles, and then Good and Evil are not in Guilty Gear. So the symbols really hurt Jacob Johnson a lot right now, but his abilities are really cool. As a response, after you block with an action card, build it face down. You clear your progressive difficulty on block, and you build a ready foundation. How cool is that? And then he has Enhance. This attack gets +2 or -1 speed. Sacrifice 1 foundation, or 1 face down foundation. If an action is added to your discard pile this way, draw 1 card and build 1 card from your hand face down. So this is a very reminiscent of a foundation called Deforester, which was a Metal Man kind of exclusive foundation. This Enhance really only worked with Metal Man. It was a Metal Man Enhance, I should say. And Jacob Johnson played a really nasty Metal Man character at a retro event at Nats two years ago, where I played him on stream. And that deck could just keep throwing just like 15 attacks at you in a turn. It was ridiculous, but it's so cool. So a lot of cool tricks that Jacob Johnson is getting to do. Unfortunately, again, we're only going to have a good amount of actions for 2 months, 2.5 months maybe, and then we're going to lose a lot. We're going to lose a lot of really good ones. Off of the Evil symbol, we're going to lose Showdown, which sucks, because off of Evil, that is amazing. Off of Good, we're going to lose Airy Smiles, which is an amazing block trick. But what I really wanted to use, because let's say evil, good, water, standard. I didn't click action. I was like, there's not 1,000 actions in this deck. All right, so Faultless Defense is good, but we wouldn't want to build it. We would want to keep this in our card pool. Can't block with schemes. So Burnout is kind of cool because it's response drive 1 after you play this card. Your rival commits 1 card in their stage, and then you can. So you drive 1 to either spend a momentum or commit a foundation. Then you build it face down. So you kind of eat your own drive cost and force your rival to commit a foundation. Or you have drive parry after you play this card, ready a foundation, and then you get to build a another foundation by building the drive parry. So you can really extend your strings defensively, or try to control your rival offensively or defensively with burnout. So those are really cool actions. But like I said, we are getting we are going to lose Airy Smiles off of good, which response flip a foundation. After you block with this card, your rival must play a non-attack card as their next form or pass. So this is really cool because off of and yeah, Evil Showdown, to be able to block with it, your rival, you get to commit 2 rival foundations and then build a ready foundation is just so disgusting. But mainly, I want to play him with High Spirit Awareness. This foundation says, on my rival's turn, enhance, I flip High Spirit Awareness. I get to pick up any face down foundation from my stage to my hand. That means I block with an Airy Smiles, I'll flip a foundation, and then you have to play a non-attack card. I get to build Airy Smiles. Then if you play another attack, I'm going to flip High Spirit Awareness and pick up Airy Smiles again. You can loop your block tricks. You can do this also with the Drive Parry and Burnout because they are infinity cards, so they can be played in any deck. But just to be able to say, I'm going to play Drive Parry. I'm going to ready a foundation. I'm going to build Drive Parry. And then I'm going to flip High Spirit Awareness, pick up Drive Parry, play Drive Parry, ready another foundation, and just continue your defensive block string is just so good. Drive Parry. Another thing about Drive Parry, this does not say after you play this card, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. You can ready Moment of Normalcy repeatedly with Drive Parry. That is so good. That is absolutely cracked in half. And like I said, with the Burnout, you're kind of eating your own drive cost unless you're spending the momentum, in which case you're just building free foundations as well as forcing your rival to commit 1 card in their stage. So if they're all committed out on foundations, they have to commit their character if they don't have any assets or backups. It says 1 card, not 1 foundation. So granted, they could commit assets or they could commit backups, but usually if they're playing assets, they want to play that asset's ability. So, you know, you never know. Obviously, it's probably just going to eat a face down foundation or something like that. But there are a lot of really cool abilities for, like, Manifest. After you block with this card, gain 2 health, and then build it face down, and then pick it up because you have the water symbol for High Spirit Awareness, then block with it again and gain 2 more health. Such a cool ability. Anna Voice, you got Breaker 1. You can reuse Breaker abilities. Yeah, it's just so cool. Again, kind of going to be hampered once we lose a lot of these action cards, but starting with Godzilla, Reign of Kaiju, we can see what new action cards we get. I mean, technically with, if we get any actions in the King of Fighters decks, we'll still get those too, but once Reign of Kaiju hits in March, that's when rotation happens, and that's when it's going to really kind of suck and kind of hobble Jacob and Mark Tyner a little bit. Obviously, they still have some very powerful cards that they can use, so it's going to be interesting to see what people cook up with these guys. And now we'll move on to the asset cards, starting with Cardboard Crusaders. I really kind of wish I didn't buy 5 of these because I didn't know there were going to be more champ cards coming out, and yeah, I bought 2 of each Mark Tyner and Ashley, and then 5 Cardboard Crusaders so that I could have an extra if anyone needed one. And I only had enough points for 1 of each Jacob Johnson and the next 2 assets that we find, and I really am wishing I had more points. So Cardboard Crusaders is a 2/4, 2 mid-block asset. It is the 2019 Nationals Team Champions. And it's late and I cannot read those names from here, but these 3 gentlemen, it's a unique asset. As a static, when you play this card, if you have fewer foundations than your rival, build it. And this has got air, earth, and order, which means Earth Mimic is going to love this. And it has response once per turn. After you play an attack, it gets +3 speed or +3 damage. So that is a really good asset to play in Ashley on the air symbol. So you can sacrifice a foundation for 2 speed and give your attack 3 damage. So that's really cool here. And it's just a once per turn. So if on the air symbol you are able to play an aerial Kokosho, you can say, hey, this is coming in as a 6 high 10. Catch. And then response remove. After your rival plays their first attack this turn, seal it, and it cannot leave the card pool during the combat phase. So no clearing, no abilities on the attack, just stop it. So that is really cool, especially for some of these single attack trick decks like Deku 6, Midoriya on the move, who usually just plays 1 big attack, or a Falling Titans deck. If they play Falling Titans as their first attack, you can just seal it, and it cannot leave the card pool, so they cannot try to pick it back up. So really good way to try to stall and try to stop your rival from dealing with some of these really strong attacks. It's really cool, and I just love the once per turn +3 speed or +3 damage, because sometimes you just need a little bit more to get you over that hump. Next we have Back to Ordinary, and this one makes me sad because, you know, that dog just wants some Mexican food. This is another 2019 World's Team Champions. I believe this has Jacob Johnson, Chris Nixon, and it's just too small for me to read right now. But it is a 2/5, 5 low block. Holy crap, I didn't notice that was a 5 low block at first. It's got all, evil, and void as its symbols. Unique. As a response, you can commit Back to Ordinary. After you play your 3rd card this turn, add 1 action from your discard pile to your hand. Your rival may remove 1 card from their hand to cancel this ability. So for the first 2.5 months that this card's going to be legal, I'm going to be picking up Barrier Shield on Evil and Void every single time. Remove a card from your hand if you don't want to get Breaker 2'd. And this works defensively as well, because it's after you've played your 3rd card this turn, so if you've blocked 3 times, I'm just going to pick up a Barrier Shield, and I'm going to block a 4th time. Let's go. And then we have Enhance Tenacious, or playable while the card is committed. Remove Back to Ordinary. This attack gets +X or -X damage. X equals the number of cards in your rival's removed pile, maximum of 5. So forcing your rival to remove cards from their hand if they don't want you to pick up your really cool action pieces. And you can just get +5 or -5 damage if you've done this, or if your rival has cycled this game, you can just +5 or -5 damage, which is really, really cool. I like this card a lot. I love giving my rival a tough choice, because this just says add 1 action from your discard pile to your hand. So it's just like, I'm going to commit. Do you want me to pick up an action? I don't have to tell you which action I'm going for. So, yeah, I just never saw that this is a +5 low block. Holy crap. I wonder if there's going to be things coming out that have to deal with high block modifiers, because that would be kind of cool. And probably my favorite asset that's been shown so far, Yeetus Deletus, which, funny enough, was a Turtles in Time reference from them throwing the guy at the camera before this team knew that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was going to be in the game, which I think is hilarious. But this is the UK Nationals Team Champions for 2019. It's 2/5, 2 high block, unique, evil, life, and water. Anyone who has seen my Zeke Yeager Warchief deck profile that I put on the channel last week knows exactly how dangerous this card is. It's got form, add this card to your card pool face down. Your next attack this turn gets -3 difficulty and +3 damage. I love that when Tim was talking on the 4Checks cast about this card, he was mainly talking about the enhance, which is really good. And he was kind of hemming and hawing about, I guess there's some cool stuff you could do with the form. The form was the first thing I thought of in this card, and I was like, I'm gonna hurt some feelings by throwing Colossal Detonation or, some really mean attacks. And then I realized this card has life. My local who loves Smiling Titan that I built a Rumbling Smiling Titan for can play this with Rumbling and just add this to your card pool. Rumbling is now an 8 diff instead of an 11 diff, and it's got 13 damage. And then it's going to get 7 damage with Smiling, so this is just coming in at 6 mid 20. Ugh, gross. But we do have Enhance Your Turn Remove. Add one card with a printed difficulty of 4 or less from your rival's stage to their card pool face down. So you get to select which one goes to their card pool. And Tim said this was a really good card to use with Unyielding Destruction, cutting everyone down to 4 foundations, and then taking their best one and putting it into their stage, or from their stage into their card pool, cutting them down to 3 foundations, is a really solid ability. On these symbols, I don't necessarily know who is making the best use of that ability, but it is a very, very, very strong one. I guess on water you could use with Bui. Yeah, you can use Bui, use the form, so your Unyielding gets a whole bunch of speed and damage. Play Unyielding, sacrifice all but 4 foundations. Make sure you sacrifice some of the ones that build you extra foundations in, and then Yeetus Deletus, pull up your rival's best card, like their only defensive piece, and just chunk down. Yeah, okay. So you could Yeetus Deletus Bui on water and just absolutely dunk on your rivals with Unyielding Bui. I think that's I hurt myself sometimes when I think about these. That's just gross. That's disgusting. Because you can also, and then you could play Breakin', and so you could commit, play Breakin', drive, ready Bui, and then commit, play Unyielding, profit. I might have to cook with that. I need more Yeetus Deletus. I'm really mad that I didn't have the points for 4 copies of Yeetus Deletus. I only have 1. I think I have enough points for 3 more right now. So UVS Games, if we could put these champ cards back on the reward store so I could get 3 more Yeetus Deletus, that'd be great. Because I don't really need 3 more card back to ordinary yet, because I'm still working on what I would use that card for. But I absolutely need... This is one of my new favorite cooking cards, is Yeetus Deletus. Because, this card is amazing. I really, really dig it. And it does have the evil symbol, so you can play it in an evil character with... what's the action scheme that everyone hates? Equipment Heist. So you could play your 3rd attack, build in a Yeetus Deletus, put Yeetus Deletus into your card pool, so your next card gets -3 difficulty. So those 3 attacks in your card pool don't count, basically. Neither does the scheme. So you play your 4th move on +1 progressive, and then it gets 3 damage, and then you build in another Yeetus Deletus. And then if you just have any way to clear your card pool, you can just absolutely crack down and just keep going. This works really well with echo cards. So maybe if you use like some water tension cards and then echo. What are some water tension cards? Water tension. 6 of them. Rolling movement. If you have a face down card in your card pool, this card's block modifier gets -2. That's not really going to help us much. If you have another ally card in your card pool, this card, you get to draw 1. That's useful because you can draw to keep getting more cards. Dust attack. If this attack deals 5 more damage, it doesn't count towards progressive. That's kind of good. Wild assault. Nice. Stop dash. Seal this card after an attack is played. Unflip a card in your card pool. I don't see how that's going to be any useful. Yeah, so it could be cool. But yeah, Yeetus Deletus is definitely the, like, that's the one that I'm cooking with the most. And it's not going to be fun for a lot of people. But who knows? But that is the most recent 6 champ cards. We got 3 champ characters and 3 assets. Yeah, all of these designs are so cool, so unique. I love what these champions did with UVS Games in creating just some really cool brain twisters of cards that you really want to build around. Be it a character with an interesting gimmick. I almost said unique gimmick, but that would have been too punny for what Mark Tyner does. But between that and then the build-arounds of the assets and just trying to figure out how to make it work towards your own game plan, I absolutely love this. And this is the kind of creativity I aspire to be if I want to make my own champ card someday. I really hope I get that chance, but yeah, gotta play in order to win, right? And who knows when I'm gonna be able to do that next, but who knows? Maybe there'll be a special tournament like I believe Mitchell Cimino won the Wish tournament. Maybe there'll be another special tournament like that and I'll get lucky. Who knows? But what do you guys think of these awesome new champion cards? Are you brewing with any of them? Are you ready to take Jacob Johnson or Ashley Fullerton for a spin? Are you ready to gamble on Mark Tyner, or maybe take some of these new assets out for a drive? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I've got something cooking up for when I hit 500 subscribers, which is going to involve me having to learn a little bit more about technology. But I think it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be really cool for you guys. So let me know in the comments below what you think of these cards. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.